Hello everybody, 'tis I, the Rumpled One. Finished another book, Rapt, by Winifred Gallagher, New York Times best-selling author. In this book, Rapt, Attention in the Focused Life. See, in my quest to figure out what matters, I've been studying some of Winifred's books. This is the second one I've read of hers. I think I got a couple more. Her book New, and I'm also reading her book People and Places, or something like that. See, what is the name of that other book? It's, I don't know if it's listed in here or not. But if you're interested in this type of stuff, I know it doesn't have anything to do with trading, or maybe it does, or anything to do with prepping, or maybe it does. Because what matters? I mean, what are we focusing on? Because, see, one of the things you can do is you can decide that certain things don't matter to you, so you don't focus on them. So maybe they don't affect you. For example, if you don't focus on all the stuff that's going on with Obama and Congress and stuff, you just say, you know what, I don't care about politics. You just go about your business. You see that your paycheck this year, they've increased FICA on you, and so now maybe you took a $20, $30, $40 hit, you know, a paycheck, and you might just go, I don't want that to bother me. I'll just keep on keeping on and just live my life and enjoy nature and fresh air and things like that. My garden, my hobbies, my projects, my friends, my family, etc. Just don't let any of that. You just don't let any of that stuff in your world. There's something to be said for that. It's just like, you know, if something happens, you don't look at the negative. You say if there's for every problem, you know, there's a solution, and maybe there's something to learn there. You do what you can to stay positive. That's one way of living life. On the other hand, you might go, well, I don't have to dwell on things, but I want to know as much as I can. So maybe you look at the news, listen to the news, read the news, so you're somewhat up on current events. And that's what you focus on. Or maybe you could be the artsy type and none of that matters, and you just paint or play music and do whatever. So that's what this book discusses, and it's pretty interesting. I'll share a couple things with you that I find kind of interesting. Here on page 138. If something is enjoyable, you don't need other reasons to do it. Mindfulness feels good, so this way of paying attention reinforces itself. So that might be part of that hippie, if it feels good, do it. If doing it feels good, just do it type of thing. Might be something said for that. I don't know. It's one of those individual things. Now let's move forward to page 214. This is something that I find very interesting. I'm going to jump into the middle of the paragraph here. Dissatisfied with this bleak conclusion, Bryant began to study a form of rapt attention that he calls savoring, or the mindful, intentional focus on positive feelings. If you can't say, yes, I was aware of and attended to that pleasure, it's not savoring. Now, you might go, yeah, the Rumpled One, too much fresh air. Look at what he's talking about and reading about now. But if you think about savoring, you might realize that you don't take the time to savor things in your life. And you don't know what you're missing out on. If you're thirsty, you may have a cold Coke or Pepsi, you just take it, you just chug it down. You didn't savor it, you just chugged it down. So the next time you feel that urge, here's what I want you to do. Instead of chugging down that Coke or Pepsi, just get a glass of water. Chug that down. Chug it down till you don't feel like chugging anymore. And then pick up that Coke or Pepsi and take a sip, a slow sip, and savor it. Just feel it on the inside of your mouth, the taste, and then make that whole glass, just make it last. I'm not talking about like or a wine connoisseur where you're going to swirl it around and sniff it and take a sip and do all that, but actually just taste it. Or if you're really hungry, find something that you can eat and fills up, but then take a time out. Instead of wolfing down that steak or that shrimp dinner or that venison or whatever, or even your rice and beans, just take a time and just take a spoonful or forkful and chew it slowly and just feel the texture and the flavors and the aroma and actually savor it. Actually just really experience it and see if that changes anything for you. You go to the fast food place and you order that 99-cent bag of fries or whatever, and you probably just wolf them down. Well, maybe if you just take one and you maybe take half of it, chew it slowly, and just taste the flavor of the potato and the salt or whatever other spice that's on it, the ketchup, and see if you could just savor it and just fully experience it. Or a chocolate bar. Instead of just wolfing it down, take a bite. Let that chocolate melt in your mouth. I know I probably sound like a commercial now, don't I? Jeez. Maybe I have been breathing too much fresh air. That's something I don't hear much up here is airplanes. Somebody must be out for a little joyride. So anyway, think about savoring. And let me know. And share that experience, if you will, in a reply. Okay, finally, one last thing. Page 216. Whatever your age or gender, the great obstacle to enjoying the moment's delights is not paying attention to them. The world's most beautiful garden might as well be an asphalt parking lot if you pound through it while barking into your cell phone. Urgency about time is another major obstacle to savoring. If we have to walk through the garden, let's get a move on, says Bryant. I have stuff to do. As he points out, however, no moment comes twice. If you don't attend to it, you miss it. If you want to smell the roses, you have to linger. Linger. How often do you linger? Now that's something to ponder. Or I make videos, those little 5-minute mini vacations by the water, the ocean, the mighty Pacific. Because sometimes I just say, hey, take 5 minutes. Because what happens is a lot of times when you live near places like that, you forget about them. You don't enjoy them. You don't take the time to enjoy them because they're there. You don't really experience them. But if you just take that 5 minutes, and turn everything else off and shut it out, no cell phone, no music, no radio, no reading, no talking, and you just sit there, watch the waves, feel the breeze on your face, listen to the sounds, watch the birds flying, fishing. Just linger. Sometimes you might have an inspiration. Sometimes it might recharge your batteries. Maybe sometimes you get to clear your mind. Not like you're meditating or anything, but you're just not focusing on anything in particular. And sometimes I'll just sit on my front porch and look at the view. Just because I can, and just to remember, that not to take it for granted, but to pay attention to it. to linger a bit. I mean, so much is about productivity, efficiency, doing more and less, or with less. But everything has a price. What do we miss when we do that? It's something to think about. Getting back to those things that matter, what matters. So anyway, once again, the book, Rapt. If you're not really into philosophy or psychology, you probably won't be interested. But if you like to read these things from time to time, just to challenge yourself, good book. I recommend it.